I died, and what Jesus showed me about guardian angels changed everything. I died saving a child from a fire. The heat of the fire burning in the building seared my skin, smoke choked my lungs, and flames roared in my ears. As I pushed the child to safety, a strange peace washed over me. In those final moments, I glimpsed something extraordinary beyond this world. My name is Danielle Michaels, and I'm about to share what happened between life and death. The veil between worlds lifted, revealing unimaginable truths. What I experienced changed everything I thought I knew about our world and the unseen forces that protect us. Brace yourself for a journey that will challenge your understanding of reality itself. I never thought my job as a firefighter would lead me to the gates of heaven, but that's exactly where I found myself on what started as a normal day at the station. I'm Danielle Michaels, and I'm about to share something that will change how you see the world around you. It was just another shift at the firehouse. We were joking around, checking our gear, and waiting for the next call. That's when the alarm blared, piercing through our laughter. In seconds, we were sliding down the pole and jumping into our trucks. The dispatcher's voice crackled over the radio. Structure fire. Possible child trapped inside. My heart raced as we sped through the streets, sirens wailing. When we arrived, the scene was chaos. Flames licked the windows of a 3-story apartment building, and thick black smoke billowed into the sky. People were screaming, pointing to an upper floor window. "My daughter!" a woman cried out. "She's still in there!" I rushed into the burning building. The heat hit me like a wall, even through my protective gear. Smoke swirled around me, making it hard to see. I called out, hoping to hear a response. Then, faintly, I heard it. A child's cry, barely audible over the roar of the flames. I pushed forward, feeling my way along the walls. The building groaned and creaked around me. I knew we didn't have much time before it would collapse. I found her in a bedroom closet, huddled in the corner. She was so small, maybe 4 or 5 years old. I scooped her up in my arms, holding her close to my chest. She clung to me tightly as I made my way back through the burning apartment. We were almost at the stairs when I felt a sharp pain in my chest. My legs wobbled and I stumbled, but I couldn't give up, not with this precious life in my arms. Somehow, I made it down those stairs. As we burst through the doorway, I felt the world spinning around me. I remember handing the girl to my partner. I saw the relief on her mother's face, and then everything went dark. In that moment, I felt myself slipping away. The pain in my chest faded, replaced by a strange lightness. I saw a brilliant white light, growing brighter and brighter. It was warm and inviting, drawing me in. I felt a sense of peace wash over me, unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. As I floated towards the light, I saw my life flashing before my eyes. But it wasn't just memories. I was reliving moments, feeling every emotion as if I was there again. Then suddenly, I wasn't alone. A figure appeared before me, radiant and awe-inspiring. It was Seraphiel, my guardian angel. His wings stretched out, shimmering with colors I'd never seen before. When he spoke, his voice resonated through my very being. "Danielle," he said, "your time on earth isn't finished yet, but before you go back, there are things you need to see, things you need to understand." With a gentle touch, Seraphiel opened my eyes to a world I never knew existed. He showed me moments from my past, times when I thought I was just lucky. But now I realized the truth. Those near misses, those moments of inspiration, they weren't chance at all. They were divine interventions. "We're always there," Seraphiel explained. "Guiding, protecting, fighting battles you can't see. But our power grows when you acknowledge us, when you pray." He showed me a celestial battlefield where beings of light clashed with dark forces. It was terrifying and beautiful all at once. I realized then that there's so much more going on around us than we can ever know. I opened my eyes to a light brighter than any fire I'd ever seen. It was warm and comforting, like the sun on a perfect summer day. But this wasn't the sun. This was something else entirely. A figure stood before me, tall and radiant. As my eyes adjusted, I realized this was no illusion. The being in front of me was real, more real than anything I'd ever seen before. His form seemed to shift and shimmer, as if made of living light. Wings of pure energy unfurled behind him, each feather a different color of the rainbow. Was this an angel? I'd heard stories about angels all my life, but I never really believed they existed. Not like this, not as actual beings you could see and talk to. But here I was, face to face with something I couldn't explain. Then the being spoke, and his voice filled me with awe and comfort. It was like 1,000 voices speaking at once, but also as gentle as a whisper. "Danielle," he said, "do not be afraid." "How do you know my name?" I managed to ask, my voice barely above a whisper. The being smiled, and it was like the whole world lit up. "I am Seraphiel," he said, "your guardian angel." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My guardian angel? But why now? Seraphiel's eyes, which seemed to hold all the wisdom of the universe, looked deeply into mine. "You are between worlds, Danielle. Your earthly body is still fighting to live, but your spirit has stepped beyond the veil for a moment." I looked around, trying to make sense of where I was. It wasn't heaven, at least not how I'd always imagined it, and it definitely wasn't Earth. We were in a place of light and mist, a place that seemed to exist between realities. "But why am I here?" I asked, still struggling to understand. Seraphiel's voice was gentle. "You have been chosen to see what few humans ever witness. You have a mission, Danielle." My mind was racing. Chosen? Me? I was just a firefighter from a small town. What could I possibly have been chosen for? "Because of your heart," Seraphiel said, as if reading my thoughts. "Your courage, your compassion, your willingness to put others before yourself. These are the qualities that make a soul shine bright in the eyes of heaven." I felt overwhelmed. I'd always tried to be a good person, but I never thought I was anything special. "What is my mission?" I asked, my voice stronger now. Seraphiel's expression became serious. "You are to be a witness, Danielle, a messenger. What you see here, what you learn, you must share with the world when you return." He held out his hand to me. "Are you ready, Danielle? Are you ready to see the world as it truly is?" I hesitated for a moment. Was I really ready for this? Could I handle the responsibility? But as I looked into Seraphiel's eyes, I felt a surge of courage flow through me. I reached out and took his hand. It was warm and strong. "I'm ready," I said. And with those words, everything changed. The misty world around us faded away, and I found myself looking at, well, I'm not sure how to describe it. It was like seeing the world through new eyes, like someone had pulled back a curtain I never even knew was there. As I marveled at the gift I'd been given, Seraphiel's voice broke through my thoughts. "Danielle, what if I told you that angels aren't just rare visitors, but constant companions in every human life?" My heart skipped a beat. What did he mean? Seraphiel waved his hand, and suddenly the world around us changed. We were floating above a busy city street. I saw people rushing about their day, completely unaware of the incredible sight above them. Shimmering beings of light, similar to Seraphiel but not quite as bright, were everywhere. They moved among the people, sometimes touching a shoulder or whispering in an ear. "Watch closely," Seraphiel said, pointing to a young woman hurrying across the street. As I looked, I saw her guardian angel gently tug her back, just as a car sped through a red light. The woman stumbled slightly, annoyed at her clumsiness, but I saw the truth. Her angel had just saved her life. This happens every day, all over the world, Seraphiel explained. We guide, we protect, we inspire, but not everyone listens. We moved to another scene. This time, I saw a man sitting at his desk, head in his hands. His guardian angel was there, trying to whisper something to him, but it was like the man couldn't hear. He kept shaking his head, muttering to himself. Why can't he hear his angel? I asked. Seraphiel's face grew solemn. Some people close themselves off. They stop believing, stop listening to that inner voice. It makes our job much harder. As we watched, the man's phone rang. He ignored it. His angel looked frustrated, trying harder to get his attention. Finally, the man picked up. His face changed as he listened. Relief, then joy spread across his features. That call was about a job offer, Seraphiel said. His angel had been trying to tell him not to give up hope. When humans pray, when they open their hearts to guidance, it amplifies our ability to help. I thought about all the times in my life when I'd felt a sudden urge to do something or not do something. How many of those were actually my guardian angel trying to guide me? We moved through more scenes. I saw children being pulled back from danger, couples meeting in seemingly chance encounters, and people making split-second decisions that changed their lives. Behind each event, I saw the loving hands of guardian angels, but something was bothering me. Seraphiel, I said, why do some people seem to have more luck than others? More narrow escapes or amazing opportunities? He smiled, pleased at my question. Ah, Danielle, you're beginning to see. What humans call luck is often the result of a person's openness to divine guidance. Those who pray, who cultivate a relationship with their guardian, who listen to their intuition, they make our job easier. We can work more closely with them. I watched as a woman closed her eyes in prayer before a big meeting. Her guardian angel's light grew brighter, filling the room. When she opened her eyes, she seemed more confident, more focused. A simple prayer, Seraphiel said, can be like opening a door for us. It allows us to pour more of our energy and guidance into a situation. Danielle, Seraphiel said, turning to me with those galaxy-filled eyes. Do you see now why you're here? Why you've been chosen to witness this? I nodded slowly, the weight of this knowledge settling on me. People need to know, I said. They need to understand that they're not alone, that help is always there if they're willing to accept it. Seraphiel smiled, and in that smile, I saw the love that he and all guardian angels have for humanity. Yes, he said, and now you know why some people seem to have more lucky breaks than others. It's not luck at all. It's a partnership, a dance between the human heart and divine guidance. Just when I thought I'd seen it all, Seraphiel directed my attention to Earth. Watch closely, he said, his voice filled with awe. You're about to witness the most powerful weapon in this war. My eyes widened as beams of light suddenly shot up from the planet below. They pierced through the darkness, reaching towards the heavens like searchlights cutting through a foggy night. As they touched the angels around us, I saw something incredible happen. The angels' forms began to glow brighter, their wings spreading wider. It was as if these beams were feeding them, making them stronger. I watched in amazement as wounded angels were suddenly healed, their injuries disappearing as the light washed over them. What is this? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. These are prayers, Danielle. Each beam of light you see is a sincere prayer rising from Earth. I couldn't believe it. All my life I'd said prayers, but I never truly understood their power until this moment. I watched as some of these prayer beams formed protective shields around people on Earth, Dark forces that had been closing in on them suddenly recoiled, unable to break through the barrier of light. Other prayers transformed into weapons in the hands of angels. I saw beings of darkness flee as angels wielded these light swords with incredible precision. It was like watching a cosmic battle where faith itself became a tangible force. But not all prayers were fierce or defensive. Some were gentle, flowing like streams of healing energy. These touched both angels and humans, soothing wounds I couldn't even see. I watched as a grieving mother's prayer wrapped around her like a warm blanket, bringing comfort in her darkest hour. What struck me most was how even the smallest prayer made a difference. A child's bedtime "God bless you" created a tiny spark that joined with others, growing into a beacon that guided lost souls home. A hurried "thank you" whispered over a meal added strength to an angel's wings. Yet, as I marveled at this spectacular display, I noticed something that made my heart sink. Compared to the vast expanse of the earth, there were far fewer beams of light than I expected. Entire regions seemed shrouded in darkness, with only occasional flickers breaking through. "Why are there so few?" I asked Seraphiel, my voice cracking with emotion. His eyes, filled with infinite compassion, met mine. "Many have forgotten the power they hold within them, Danielle. They've lost sight of the connection between their world and ours. Some believe their words fall on deaf ears, while others are too caught up in the noise of life to pause and reach out." I understood then why I was being shown all this. It wasn't just about witnessing the beauty of the spiritual realm. It was about understanding the vital role we play in this cosmic dance. "How can we make our guardian angel stronger?" I asked, feeling a new sense of purpose growing within me. "By remembering us," Seraphiel said softly. "By acknowledging the unseen battles fought on your behalf every day. When you pray, do so with the understanding that your words have power. They're not just wishes sent into the void, but keys that unlock divine intervention." He gestured to the earth below. "Imagine if every person down there truly understood this. If they knew that their faith, their gratitude, their love expressed through prayer could change the course of this war. The darkness wouldn't stand a chance." I nodded, feeling the weight of this knowledge settling on my shoulders. I knew that when I returned, if I returned, I had to share this truth. People needed to know that they weren't powerless in the face of life's struggles. That every time they reached out in prayer, they were joining a battle much bigger than themselves. As I absorbed the incredible power of prayer, Seraphiel's expression suddenly changed. His radiant face clouded with sorrow, and I felt a chill run through me. "There's something else you need to see," he said softly. "Something that breaks the hearts of every guardian angel." With a gentle motion of his hand, Seraphiel revealed a new scene before us. At first, it was beautiful. I saw people surrounded by a soft, warm light. Their guardian angels were right there with them, so close they could almost touch. It reminded me of how my own angel had been with me all along, even when I didn't know it. But then I noticed something that made my heart sink. Some people were pushing the light away. They turned their backs on it, like they were afraid or angry. Their guardian angels looked so sad. I could feel their pain. These amazing beings of light wanted so badly to help, but they couldn't. I watched as one man stormed out of his house after a fight with his wife. His guardian angel tried to calm him, to whisper words of peace, but the man couldn't hear. He got in his car and drove away too fast. His angel looked heartbroken. A teenage girl sat alone in her room, crying. Her guardian angel's wings wrapped around her, but she couldn't feel the comfort. Instead, she reached for a bottle of pills. Her angel's light flickered with desperation, trying to show her another way. But the girl's eyes were closed to hope. An older woman sat at a slot machine, feeding it coin after coin. Her guardian angel tried to pull her away, to show her the beauty of the world outside, but the woman was lost in the flashing lights and empty promises. Her life savings dwindled while her angel wept. With each person who turned away, I saw darkness growing around them. It was like a thick, oily smoke that fed on their anger, their fear, their pain. The more they pushed away the light, the stronger the darkness became. Seraphiel's voice was heavy as he explained. "Free will is a precious gift," he said. "But it means that humans can reject our guidance. They can choose to ignore the light within them." I thought about all the times in my own life when I'd felt that gentle nudge, that quiet voice urging me to be kind or brave. Had there been times when I'd ignored it? The thought made me shiver. "What happens to them?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "The people who turn away?" Seraphiel's eyes held galaxies of sorrow. "The consequences can be severe," he said. "When humans consistently reject the light, they open themselves to influences that do not have their best interests at heart. They may find themselves making choices that hurt themselves and others, trapped in cycles of pain and regret." "Why are you showing me this?" I asked Seraphiel, my voice thick with emotion. "Because you need to understand the whole picture," he replied. "When you return, you must help people see the choice before them. Remind them that they are never alone, that guidance and love are always available if they open themselves to it." I nodded, feeling the weight of this knowledge. I knew that when I went back, I had to find a way to share this truth. People needed to know that their choices mattered, not just for themselves, but for the unseen world around them. Just when I thought I'd seen the worst of it, Seraphiel's face turned grim. "Now," he said, his voice low and serious, "you must see our true enemies." My heart raced as the world around us shifted. What I saw next would change everything I thought I knew about good and evil. The spiritual battlefield transformed before my eyes. Dark beings, twisted and full of hate, swarmed around humans like angry wasps. These weren't just shadows or feelings, they were real. I could see them clearly, their forms shifting and writhing in ways that made my stomach turn. "What are they?" I whispered, my voice shaking. Seraphiel's wings stretched out protectively around me. "They are demons," he said, "fallen angels who chose darkness over light." I watched in horror as these demons whispered into people's ears. They stirred up anger in a man arguing with his wife. They fanned the flames of fear in a woman watching the news. They wrapped their dark tendrils around a teenager's mind, filling it with thoughts of despair. "They feed on human suffering," Seraphiel explained. "Every dark deed, every hateful thought makes them stronger." I saw a businessman make a dishonest deal, and the demon nearby seemed to grow larger. A child bullied another on a playground, and the watching demon's eyes glowed with satisfaction. It was like they were drinking in the pain and fear, growing fat on it. But the angels fought back with everything they had. I saw guardian angels forming shields of light around their charges, deflecting the demon's attacks. Warrior angels swooped in, swords of flame cutting through the darkness. It was a constant struggle, happening every second of every day, in every corner of the world. I watched as a demon tried to tempt a recovering alcoholic. The man's guardian angel whispered words of encouragement, reminding him of his strength. The man hesitated, then walked past the liquor store. The demon shrieked in frustration, while the angel's light grew brighter. "How do they fight?" I asked Seraphiel. "How can we help?" "Prayer is our strongest weapon," he replied. "When humans pray, it's like they're joining the battle themselves. It gives us strength, sharpens our swords, reinforces our shields." I saw it happen. A mother worried about her child closed her eyes and prayed. Her words rose like a beam of light, striking a nearby demon and driving it back. The child's guardian angel glowed brighter, its wings spreading wide. "But why?" I asked. "Why do demons want to hurt us so badly?" Seraphiel's eyes filled with sorrow. They hate what they can no longer have. They've rejected God's love, and now they want to drag as many souls as they can into darkness with them. They can't stand to see humans, with all their flaws, still loved by God. I watched as demons tried to isolate people, whispering lies that they were alone, unloved, worthless. But every act of kindness, every word of encouragement between humans, seemed to drive the demons back. "Remember," Seraphiel said, "evil is real, but it's not all-powerful. Humans have a strength the demons can never understand, the ability to choose love over hate, light over darkness, even in the hardest times." I saw a man forgive someone who had hurt him deeply. The demons around him howled in rage, but they couldn't touch him. His choice had created a light they couldn't penetrate. "This is the battle that rages every day," Seraphiel told me. "Not with guns or bombs, but in human hearts. Every choice matters. Every prayer counts. Every act of love is a victory." I looked out over the world, seeing both the darkness and the light. It was overwhelming, but also strangely hopeful. We weren't helpless in this fight. Our choices, our prayers, our love, they all made a difference. I gasped, my eyes flying open as I found myself back in that in-between place with Seraphiel. The heavenly visions faded, but their impact lingered, leaving me breathless and yearning. For a moment, I longed to return to that realm of indescribable beauty and peace. But as reality settled in, my mind raced with questions. "Why me, Seraphiel?" I whispered, my voice trembling. "Why am I seeing all of this?" Seraphiel's eyes, still swirling with galaxies, looked deeply into mine. "Danielle," he began, his voice resonating through my very being. "God's ways aren't always clear to us. He chooses his messengers in unexpected ways, often from unlikely places." I listened intently as he continued. "Your work as a firefighter has prepared you, but not how you might think. You've shown bravery in danger, but more importantly, you've developed the ability to see hope in the darkest situations." His words made me think of all the times I'd comforted people on their worst days. How many times had I promised that everything would be okay, even when things looked bleak? "You've been training your whole life for this, Danielle," Seraphiel said. "Every fire you've fought, every life you've saved, it's all been preparing you for a different kind of rescue mission." A mix of emotions washed over me. Confusion, fear, but also a strange sense of purpose. "What kind of mission?" I asked, my voice stronger now. "You're meant to be a bridge between two worlds," Seraphiel explained. "The physical realm where humans dwell, and the spiritual realm most cannot see. Your task is to share what you've witnessed, to inspire faith in others, to help them understand the battles being fought on their behalf every day." The weight of this responsibility settled on my shoulders. It felt overwhelming, yet somehow right. Like puzzle pieces clicking into place, I began to see how my entire life had led to this moment. "But how?" I asked. "How can I explain all of this to people? Who would believe me?" Seraphiel's smile was warm and reassuring. "You won't be alone, Danielle. I'll be with you in this mission too. Remember, you don't need everyone to believe you. You just need to plant seeds of faith and awareness. God will do the rest." I thought about my fellow firefighters, my family, my friends. How would they react to this story? But then I remembered the incredible things I'd seen. The battles, the prayers lighting up the world, the constant presence of our guardians. How could I keep that to myself? "Your near-death experience has a greater purpose," Seraphiel said. "It's about awakening others to the reality of the spiritual world around them. It's about reminding people of the power they hold within themselves, the power of prayer, of faith, of love." As he spoke, I felt a sense of purpose growing within me. Yes, the task ahead seemed daunting. Yes, there would be people who wouldn't believe me. But I knew, deep in my soul, that this was what I was meant to do. Just as I felt ready to embrace my newfound purpose, everything changed in an instant. Have you ever experienced that moment when you're torn away from something incredibly important? That's exactly what happened to me, and it shook me to my core. I felt a sudden, powerful pull dragging me away from the heavenly realms. Seraphiel's voice faded, but his urgent words echoed. Danielle, it's not your time to stay here. You have a mission to fulfill in the world. I wanted to argue, to beg for more time, but the celestial beauty dimmed. A sharp pain hit my chest, every nerve screaming in agony. "We've got a pulse!" someone shouted. "She's coming back!" The paramedics' voices broke through, pulling me back to reality. Machines beeped, a harsh contrast to the ethereal music I'd just experienced. Seraphiel's last words resonated. Remember everything you've seen. Share it with the world. They need to know the truth about the battles being fought for their souls. My eyes flew open. I gasped. The bright ambulance lights painful after heaven's soft glow. Concerned faces hovered over me. "Welcome back," a paramedic smiled. "We thought we'd lost you there for a minute." They had no idea how close they'd come, or how much I'd gained in those moments between life and death. How could I possibly explain what I'd seen? How could I make people understand the incredible battles being fought every day? The next few days blurred in hospital rooms and medical tests, but my mission remained clear. I saw everything differently now. The nurse wasn't just doing her job. She was a warrior of light, her kindness driving back darkness. The doctor wasn't just a professional. He was a channel for divine healing. Even small things took on new meaning. Sunlight reminded me of heaven's brilliance. Flowers symbolized life's beauty and fragility, reminding me why angels fought so hard to protect us. I knew sharing my experience wouldn't be easy. People would doubt me, maybe ridicule me. I'd have to find a way to speak about unseen battles without sounding crazy. It would take wisdom and courage I wasn't sure I had. But for every skeptic, there'd be someone whose heart was open to the truth. Someone who needed to know they weren't alone, that they were loved beyond imagination. For them, I had to try. As I lay in that hospital bed, I started planning how to fulfill my mission. It wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to share the incredible truth I'd witnessed. The greatest war ever fought, the war for human souls, was happening all around us, and I had been chosen to reveal it to the world. My journey between life and death changed me forever. I saw things I never imagined possible, the love and power of our guardian angels, the battles they fight for us every day. It's all real. I hope my story helps you see the unseen forces shaping your life. Since my experience, I've learned to listen more closely to my guardian angel. You can strengthen your bond too through simple acts. Try starting each day with a prayer of gratitude, or pause during a stressful moment to ask for guidance. Your angel is always there waiting to help. Remember, you're part of something bigger than you know. Every kind word, every loving action ripples through the universe. You have more power than you realize. Choose love. Choose light. Your guardian angel believes in you, and so do I.